Hi there. In this video, I will show you how the sharing security works in the Salesforce. So currently, I am logged into my developer org, and I will show you how the org-wide settings, profiles, and roles working in Salesforce. So for that, I will show you how the account records can be visible with the different settings. For the demo purpose, I have created 3 users in the Salesforce. uh, all are having the Salesforce platform licenses. So as you can see, the 3 users are manager, user 1 and user 2. So for that, I have created a custom profile called Salesforce platform user custom. And let me show you how the current settings are present on the object level. We are not we are not looking any field level securities in this particular video. We are only considering the object level permissions. So as you can see, for the account, it's read, create, edit, and delete. That means user can create, read, edit, and delete its own accounts. Okay, he don't have access to any other account, or he cannot edit any others accounts, any other users accounts. So here for all the 3 users, manager, user 1 and user 2, we are considering the Salesforce platform user custom profile. We are using Salesforce platform custom Salesforce platform license because we don't need to provide them any other capabilities like customizing application or having the validation rules and workflow. We are just showing the data, how the data flows, how data level. I want to demo you how the data can be visible with the different settings. That's why I have chosen the Salesforce platform license. Now coming towards the roles part, um, I have set up 2 roles. One is manager and another one is sales rep under that manager. So by looking into the screen, you can see the manager is of course of the role manager, and user 1 and user 2 are basically the sales rep. So if you look into the roles, the manager lies above the sales rep, so that as per the scenario, manager should have access to all the records held by these 2 particular sales rep. So now let's just log into these particular users. Before moving towards the org settings, I just want you guys to show how, if you log into user 1, which all records are visible right now into the account. I'll give you a few I'll give you a few minutes so that you can think. Uh, Theoretically, the user 1 can see his own records, but let me show you. If I list down all accounts here, you can see this particular user can see all the accounts present in the org, but we have said only view, create, read, delete and edit permission on the profile. He should not see, as per the profile definition, he should not see other accounts, right? Because his owner is something else. So now why this is happening? This is because of the org-wide settings. So the first thing you need to you need to look into the org-wide settings. What is the org-wide sharing setting for that particular custom or the standard object? So let me show you. Let me switch back to the admin user, and now it comes as the sharing setting. We need to go to the sharing settings, and we need to check which access level set for the account. As you can see, account it's public read write. What does that mean? So it is that regardless of the roles or the profile, every user in the org can access or edit any account present in the org. So to limit this limit this access, we need to first modify the org wide setting. So this should be the most restrictive if you want to extend or if you want to lower down the access level of the particular user to that particular object. So there are three org-wide settings: private, read-only, and public read-write. So in private, if we set private, we can the user can see only his records, not others. He can edit or create his own records. If you set public read-only, user can see all the accounts, but he cannot edit others' accounts. And public read-write, which was set right now, uh, in this particular mode, user can see and edit any account regardless of who is the owner. So let's set the access level as private. I'm clicking on save. It will take some amount of time depending upon how many records you are having. So you will receive an email saying that your processing has been done, or you can just refresh the page. It's still going on. Yeah, it's done. So now you can see account and contract. Just ignore this part. You can just consider the account for the demo purpose right now. For account, it's set to private now. Now let's go to the users and log in with the user one. So let's go to the accounts. So I'm clicking on all accounts. So as you can see, for all accounts I am getting only one test account. Why? Because before this particular demo session I have created one test account by logging in with this user. So as you can see, account owner is user one and I am currently logged in with the user one. He can see only his accounts now, not others accounts. He can only see his account. He can edit his own account. He can delete his own account. So this is basically this capability we have specified into the profile level. Now for the just for verifying another thing, I am logging into the user with user 2. So I'm logging with log user 2 now. Into accounts. I'm already in all account section, and this is test account 2 because this has been owned by user 2. He is not able to see other accounts, as well as he cannot edit other accounts. He can only edit or see his own accounts. So now I'm just logging out from this user, and again logging back with my admin user. So now coming towards the role parts now. So hope you have understand how this is working. So uh, right now user 1 and user 2 can see only their accounts and they can edit their own accounts. Now coming towards the role part, manager is up at the top of the sales rep and sales rep, so that manager should have access to the records which are owned by user 1 and user 2. So now let's log in with the manager user. So as I can see here, the role manager is assigned to him and sales rep are assigned to these two users. So let me go to the accounts. I'm clicking on all accounts. So as you can see, test account and test account 2 are visible. This one was owned by user 1 and this is owned by user 2. Now, as per the definition, the manager should have access to the records owned by their sales reps. So yeah, this is happening right now, as well as he can edit the content of these accounts. So this is how the roles are currently working. User, the role the users having the higher role can see and edit their lower lower level sales rep users data. So this is how it's working right now. Now let's take another example. User 1, sales rep want to see all the data of the org. Okay, all the data, all the accounts of the org, no matter from which level the account was created, but he should only edit his own account. So how we can do this? So this again you need to consider the org wide settings. For that you need to go to sharing settings. Not only the user 1 and user 2, but manager as well need to see all the accounts in the org regardless of which role user is, but he can only edit the lower level users account and his own accounts. So in this case you need to look for the org wide settings, because org wide settings name itself says it's a organization wide settings. If everybody is in the picture, then you should consider against the org wide settings, else it should be done through profile level settings or sharing level settings or sharing rules. So in this case, in this scenario, we need to set the accounts org wide set defaults to public read only. So let me just edit it. So currently it's set to private. Private means the user can see only his only his only the records owned by him. Now public read only is something like the user can see all the records, that is all the accounts, but he can edit only his own accounts. So just let's wait for a few minutes, few seconds to complete this processing. So currently we have set the normal settings defaults for the account as public read only. Let me refresh it. Yeah, it's done. It's set to public read only now. Now what should happen? User 1, user 2, even manager and any other user from the org should see all the accounts, but he should only allowed to edit his own record. So let's just log in with the user 1 and let's check if this particular explanation is working as expected or not. So I logged into the user 1 and I'm going to accounts now. I'm clicking on all accounts. Boom. So this user can see all the accounts present in this particular org. Now let's try to edit one of the, so he can see all the data from the account. Okay, because we have set to public read only, he should see all the data, but he should not be able to edit this account. So as you can see on the screen, there is a error message, you do not have level of necessary actions. Why? Because this is owned by the another user. Now let's try to edit the account which was created by this user, that is user 1. So as you can see, I can edit my own accounts. This particular user can edit his own account. So similarly, it's working for same for user 2 and manager as well. So let me log in with the manager now so that I can just clarify, you can get a better understanding. So here I'm logging with manager now. So let me go to the account section. See, he can also see all the records, all the accounts, but he should not be able to edit any other user's account owned by the other user. But he should be able to edit user 1 and user 2 accounts. Click on edit for user 1. Yes, he can do that. Also for user 2, he can edit. Yes. So this was pretty much it. But I am having another scenario. So what if the user 1 and user 2 want to see all the accounts present in the org, but manager should see only the records owned by user 1 and user 2. So in this case, is it possible with the org-wide settings? No. Here we need to take care these things with the profile level settings. So let me explain you. So for that we need to set the org-wide defaults back to private now, so that it's the most restrictive access level, so that only user can see their own records, because we are restricting the manager's level to the one level down. So it should be, he should see his own records and the records owned by the users who are one level down to him. So in this case it should be private. So I'm setting the account level as private. Let's wait for a few minutes. It's again processing. Yeah, done. So the org-wide settings is now set to private for the accounts. So this is again comes towards the first scenario that we discussed. The user can access his own records, not others. Now we need to expand the sharing visibility for user 1 and users 2. So how we can do that? So there is a common thing between user 1 and user 2, that is the profile. So we have created a custom profile here, and we want to give access of all the accounts to that particular user. So how we can do that? So we can do this by profiles. So there is a view all checkbox over here and modify all. What does it specify? View all means you can, this particular profile users can see all the data, but they cannot modify. And modify all is the most, I mean, for the modify all, you can, the user of this profile can see all the accounts, as well as they can edit any account regardless of who the owner is. We don't need to, we are not considering this scenario here. So in this particular scenario, we want user 1 and user 2 should see all the accounts, but they can only edit their own records. So in this case, modify all does not come into the picture. We are checking the view all permission for this particular profile, and we are clicking on save button. So now let's log in with user 1. So as per the expectations, our expectations are user 1 should see all the accounts, but he can only edit his own accounts. So let me go to the accounts tab. I logged into the user 1, and if I click on all accounts, you can see all the accounts present in the org are visible for this particular user, and if I try to edit, it should throw me an error. So as you can see, it's giving me an error. And if I try to edit my own account, that is user 1's records here, even user 2, let's try. Yeah, we are getting an error, and for user 1, it's owned by him. Yes, it's accessible for edit permission. Now the second scenario is, the second thing we need to confirm is manager should not be able to see all the accounts. Usually this is not a business scenario, but just for the demo purpose I am explaining this. So let's try by logging with manager. You should see only the records owned by user 1 and user 2. So let's log in. Oh, just wait. I forgot the one thing. Actually, standards manager is also having the same profile. Yes, of course, user will a manager can also see all the accounts because manager is also having the same profile. I just forgot about that. So let me quickly edit this manager record and have the another profile of sales platform license. I'm selecting the standard platform user now, profile for this particular user, that is manager. So let me log in. Let me go to the accounts tab. So yeah, as you can see, I am already on the all accounts list view, and I can only see as a manager only see the two records which are owned by user 1 and user 2 respectively. We can edit those records and both the records basically. So this is how the sharing model works in the Salesforce. So in this particular scenario, just to refresh, user 1 and user 2 can see all the accounts present in the org regardless of the owner, but manager can only see those accounts which are owned by user 1 and user 2. So this is all about this particular uh, sharing settings regarding org-wide roles and profile. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you.